Reality TV is built on one simple thing. We love watching people we cannot stand. And when it comes to messy relationships, bad behavior, and straight up cringe, no franchise delivers like 90 Day Fiancé. Since 2014, the show has shoved couples from different countries into a 90-day pressure cooker, all thanks to the K-1 visa. They've got 3 months to fall in love, say I do, or pack their bags and go home. And in that tiny window, we get it all. Cultural clashes, financial lies, emotional manipulation, gold digging, and some of the most iconic reality TV villains of all time. Tonight on Paper Highlighter, we're not talking about the sweet couples or the underdogs. We're diving into the cast members fans love to hate. The ones Reddit roasts daily, the ones viewers call trash, creepy, and walking red flags. Ed Brown was yet another older American man with a fixation on much younger Filipino women, and he managed to become even more despised than Mark Shoemaker. For many viewers, he's the ultimate villain of the entire franchise. His partner, Rosemary, was 31 years his junior and widely seen as way out of his league, especially standing next to Ed's stocky, short-necked frame. Still, he repeatedly humiliated her on camera, complaining about her bad breath, pressuring her to shave her legs just to earn a kiss, all while he was the one slathering mayonnaise in his hair and lying about his own height. In the end, though, what truly drove Rosemary away wasn't the insult, but Ed's dishonesty about wanting children. If anything, Ed seemed to carry none of the self-awareness from his relationship with Rosemary into his next one with Liz. Some of the most uncomfortable scenes in 90 Day Fiancé came from their dynamic. Ed belittling Liz's career ambitions, making cruel comments about her weight, calling her a lesbian, and lying straight to her face about still being in contact with Rosemary. Viewers who usually enjoy a good love-to-hate character crossed the line with Ed. Many flat out couldn't stand him and called for him to be canceled, with one viral Reddit thread even asking, is Big Ed really this creepy or is it all for show? The backlash only intensified as disturbing allegations about Ed surfaced. A woman using the name Lordakeet, also known as Lolo's World on social media, accused him of serious misconduct, telling Daily Soap Dish that their time together ended with her in the hospital after an incident involving Ed, and that she has suffered ongoing health issues since. While plenty of 90 Day Fiancé stars have brought chaos to the screen, few have sparked as much genuine concern as Andrei Castravette. Throughout Season 5, many viewers felt that Andrei's behavior toward his future wife, Elizabeth Pohast, crossed from intense to deeply unsettling. One of the most talked about moments was after his green card interview, when he exploded at Elizabeth for not remembering the exact date they first met and for nervously giggling. He snapped, "I said to just fucking answer the questions. Why you stumbling?" A scene that left audiences rattled. On Reddit, fans openly questioned whether Andrei's behavior hinted at something darker. One widely shared post asked, "Does anyone else feel like Andrei could be a physically abusive husband? I really get that vibe, even more so after this week." In the comments, viewers dissected his actions, with one person writing, "Andrei does seem like the kind of emotional abuser who would physically assault his wife. He's doing what a domestic abuser would do, isolating her from her family." Another added, "His attitude and way he talks down on her is bullshit. I hate the way he talks and sounds angry all the time." Andrei and Elizabeth have both denied any accusations of domestic abuse, but the speculation hasn't gone away, especially within Elizabeth's family. Whether those fears have any basis in reality or not, her relatives clearly don't like him and often treat him as if he's a threat. Andrei hasn't helped his image with them either. He got off on the wrong foot with Elizabeth's father by asking for money while refusing to participate in the family business. As he bluntly put it to Us Weekly, "I said that I want money. I didn't say I'm going to work with them. All I need is the check." Colt Johnson's dynamic with his mother, Debbie Johnson, made a lot of 90 Day Fiancé viewers deeply uncomfortable. Their bond often came across as overly enmeshed and unhealthy, to the point where fans jokingly nicknamed their home the Bates Motel, a nod to Norman Bates and his notorious mommy issues in Psycho. That intense codependence frequently spilled into Colt's love life, with Debbie inserting herself into his relationships, though Colt himself was far from innocent in the chaos. On Reddit, he became a frequent target of criticism and mockery. In a widely discussed thread titled, "Colt is the perfect example of the sad reality for a lot of men," commenters listed endless examples of his awkward, cringe-worthy behavior. Another post, "Just a reminder for 2021 that Colt is garbage," referenced a now iconic line from Jess Caroline Hanvey, one of the women he cheated on, who bluntly declared Colt is a trash man. Users roasted him relentlessly, with one asking, "How the F does he cheat when he looks like the Pillsbury Doughboy?" While another added, "Always gives me the biggest creeps, like he's pretending to be human." Like several other Americans on the show, Colt also misled his fiancée Larissa Lima about his finances. While some label Larissa a gold digger, Colt was notoriously stingy, refusing even to repair the air conditioning in his car despite the brutal Las Vegas heat. In the end, his behavior didn't just hurt his partners, it even turned on his own mother, as Colt eventually kicked Debbie out of the house. Danielle Mullins was another 90 Day Fiancé star who misled her partner about money, joining the ranks of cast members who bent the truth to secure a relationship and a storyline. Much like Colt Johnson and Larissa Lima, Danielle's relationship with Mohammed Jabali was wildly unbalanced and deeply toxic. Beyond hiding the reality of her shaky finances and heavy debt, she also failed to tell Mohammed about her criminal past, which included check fraud and credit card theft. According to reports, that pattern of questionable behavior didn't stop once Mohammed was in the picture. Danielle allegedly opened a DirecTV account in his name without permission and even stole small amounts of cash from him. Radar Online reported that things got so bad, Mohammed called the police on her 7 times between January and February 2016. While Mohammed has his own share of dramatic reactions, it's hard to deny that Danielle made his life extremely stressful long after the romance was dead. Their breakup did not bring peace. Danielle, 41 during season 2, compared to Mohammed's 26, unsettled viewers with what many saw as obsessive behavior. She was accused of harassing Mohammed as well as his friends and family after the split. In frustration, Mohammed took to Facebook, pleading, "Stop stalking me on my social media and sending me emails. Stop contacting my friends and my family. You have become so annoying." Things escalated further when Danielle showed up at his residence waving documents she claimed proved his affairs and bad behavior, hurling papers at him and screaming, "I will get your fucking ass deported." Fans who once pitied her began to lose patience. As one Reddit user bluntly summed it up, "I used to feel bad for her, but OMG, is she brain dead? Listen to your kids and move on." Mohammed Jabali was far from innocent in his disastrous relationship with Danielle Mullins. Like many 90 Day Fiancé cast members accused of chasing a green card, Mohammed gave viewers the strong impression that he was more interested in a visa and financial stability than in Danielle herself. That became glaringly obvious on their wedding day when he refused to kiss her at the altar, claiming it went against his religion, despite openly admitting he'd already been intimate with her before. Later, Mohammed took things even further by publicly discussing their private life in a cruel and humiliating way. He claimed he stopped being intimate with Danielle because of her hygiene, saying she smelled bad and had once urinated on him. Instead of handling the issue privately, he recounted how she supposedly argued with him about it and then broke down in front of her teenage children, demanding sex and threatening to call immigration if he refused. The graphic nature of his story left many viewers wishing those details had never been aired. While he was withdrawing from Danielle, Mohammed was also accused of pursuing other women behind her back. Reports of multiple affairs pushed Danielle to seek an annulment so she could have him deported, though the court ultimately denied that request and granted them a regular divorce instead. Mohammed's behavior made him one of the most despised figures in the franchise. Some viewers were so angry that they didn't just root against him on TV, they took it into the real world, starting a Change.org petition calling for him to be deported from the United States. Mark Shoemaker became one of the most unsettling figures to ever appear on 90 Day Fiancé when he was featured in Season 3. Even though he and his fiancée Nikki have largely vanished from the public eye since their 2015 episodes aired, viewers haven't stopped thinking about them. On Reddit, one popular thread summed up the lingering reaction with a blunt question: what ever happened to these two? What a disturbing man. Hundreds of comments echoed the same sentiment. Mark didn't just seem odd, he came across as downright creepy. At one point, he even stared at himself in the mirror and declared, "You're a specimen." A 58-year-old from Baltimore, Mark appeared on the show with 19-year-old Nikki from Cebu City in the Philippines. Their age gap was shocking enough, but there was another layer that made people uneasy. Mark already had 4 children, all older than Nikki, from a previous marriage to another younger Filipino woman. Fans felt this pattern suggested a disturbing fetish, and things only got weirder when viewers learned he kept a framed photo of his ex-wife in the bedroom even after Nikki moved in. Mark proposed to Nikki just 2 days after meeting her, and instead of a proper ring, he used a zip tie as a stand-in, setting the tone for the cheap, dismissive behavior he'd show later, like refusing to pay for the wedding dress she really wanted. Aware that his portrayal on the show stirred controversy, Mark later tried to fight back legally. He filed a lawsuit against Discovery Communications and the production over how he was presented, though the case was ultimately dismissed. He also lashed out at online critics in a particularly nasty way. Speaking about the backlash, he claimed that most of the people attacking him on social media had 5 things in common, listing they're overweight, they're women, they're alone, they're jealous, and I don't know what the 5th is. Instead of repairing his image, comments like that only cemented Mark Shoemaker as one of the franchise's most disliked and most disturbing cast members. Jorge Nava's worst behavior often gets blurred out by the loud drama of his fiery bride Anfisa, but when you strip away the chaos, it's clear he brought plenty of problems of his own. While Anfisa has slowly shifted into something of a respected fan favorite over time, Jorge never really got that redemption arc. From the very beginning, he set himself up as the problem by lying to her and to viewers about his financial situation. He even rented a luxury car to pick her up from the airport to make himself look rich, when in reality, he was broke and making what money he could from dealing drugs. On top of that, he hid his criminal record from her. Those lies eventually caught up with him. Jorge was arrested for drug-related charges and, in 2018, sentenced to 2.5 years in prison. While behind bars, he did at least try to turn his life around physically, reportedly losing around 133 pounds. But before he went to prison, things between him and Anfisa had already blown up. She accused him of cheating and posted screenshots of his alleged messages with other women. For many viewers, the big question wasn't why Anfisa was so angry. It was how any woman not chasing a green card would have been interested in Jorge in the first place. Over time, fan opinions shifted strongly in Fee's favor. In one widely shared Reddit comment, a viewer summed it up. Jorge is the issue, not her. She was always extremely honest about what she wants and who she is. She was also a teenager. Jorge lied about his criminal record, living situation, and money. He was always the issue. She matured a lot now and is fairly successful on her own. In the end, it's pretty clear whose story people will remember, and it's not Jorge Nava's. Paul Staehle has gone down as one of the strangest and most disturbing figures in 90 Day Fiancé history. Like several stars from the franchise, he's had serious legal troubles, including a criminal record involving arson and fraud, details he initially tried to hide from his much younger partner, Corinne Martins. That deception was just one piece of a deeply unhealthy relationship that spiraled into repeated arguments, police involvement, restraining orders, and ultimately Child Protective Services stepping in to remove his custody of the 2 children he shares with Corinne. Instead of focusing on regaining custody, Paul chose to leave for Brazil, where he was reportedly spotted partying with underage girls. On the show, Paul became infamous, not just for his past, but for his bizarre, often embarrassing behavior. Fans still remember him wearing what looked like a full-body condom suit because he was afraid to swim in Brazilian waters, or the time he panicked, bolted, and hid in the woods. His unpredictable outbursts and erratic reactions took a toll on Corinne, who eventually said she feared for her own safety and that of their son. In an Instagram story, she shared that she had called the police because she feared for their lives, explaining that she ultimately needed to be rescued from an environment that no longer was healthy. Viewers shared those fears and grew increasingly worried about both Corinne and the children. Paul's troubling behavior didn't stop when the camera stopped rolling. Off-screen, he turned to OnlyFans in an attempt to make money, even trying to sell explicit content aimed at a gay audience. In a screenshot later shared on Reddit, he wrote, "My final attempt at selling gay content. We will try this lower price this one time before we give up." The reaction was brutal, with one commenter summing it up. "Oh my fucking God, lol. Have some dignity, brother." For Paul Staehle, the humiliation clearly didn't end with reality TV. It just found new platforms. Larissa dos Santos Lima was the equally explosive counterpart to Colt Johnson in one of 90 Day Fiancé's most notoriously toxic relationships. She quickly earned a reputation as a franchise villain after boldly declaring, "Who is against the Queen will die" on TLC UK. That over-the-top line wasn't just for show. Larissa displayed aggressive and volatile behavior throughout her time on the series. She was arrested multiple times on charges including domestic battery and disorderly conduct following arguments with Colt. While many viewers assumed those incidents led to her firing, the real tipping point reportedly came when she did an adult webcam show on the live stream platform CamSoda, which violated the franchise's standards. Larissa's antics became unforgettable reality TV moments. She once flushed her wedding ring down the toilet in a fit of rage, and her sharp tongue and harsh judgments turned her into a natural on-screen antagonist. She openly leaned into the gold digger label, at one point bluntly stating, "I want $1 million from Colt." However, as time went on, fan perception of Larissa began to shift. Some viewers started to feel that her behavior, while often extreme, was being pushed and inflamed by the environment around her, especially Colt and his mother, Debbie. One Reddit user admitted, "Originally, I really thought Larissa was the problem because she was bratty. But as time went on, I've completely changed my mind. I think Colt and his mother have been treating Larissa like absolute shit." Another commenter agreed, claiming he weaponized the police against Larissa and crazy made her on purpose. In the end, Larissa remained one of the most polarizing figures in the franchise, simultaneously seen as a villain, a victim, and undeniably unforgettable television. Evelyn Cormier might have looked like the sweet, innocent one when she first appeared on 90 Day Fiancé Season 6 in 2017 at just 18 years old. But it didn't take long for viewers to see a very different side of her. Behind the angelic image, fans saw what they felt was smug, condescending, and often downright rude behavior. In one memorable moment, Evelyn made a close friend cry after belittling her for daring to question whether Evelyn was too young to get married. Her treatment of her future husband, David from Spain, was even harsher. She went on patronizing, borderline xenophobic rants about his home country and scoffed at the idea of a European dream, dismissing it as inferior. On Reddit, the frustration with Evelyn was loud and clear. A thread bluntly titled, "Evelyn Sucks," is packed with profanity-laced criticism. One commenter wrote, "She thinks he's such hot shit. Another reason I hate her," mocking her little family band, where she positioned herself as the star. Another viewer added, "So self-important. I hated watching her segments because of how insufferable she was." Her unpopularity didn't stay confined to TLC. When Evelyn later competed on American Idol as a Christian singer, the backlash followed her. She was eliminated the very first week the public got to vote. Social media users immediately tied that outcome to her reality TV past. One ex, formerly Twitter, user groaned, "Oh no, at American Idol, you did not bring hashtag 90 Day Fiancé Evelyn," adding, "I cannot stand to watch that woman again." If Evelyn hoped American Idol would give her a fresh start, viewers made it clear they were still holding a grudge from 90 Day Fiancé.